One. One, two. Off there. It appears okay, sorry guys. And we shouldn't be. It appears it's not even 6 o'clock yet. Okay, sorry guys. We shouldn't be. That is very weird. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. Sorry guys. We shouldn't be. That sounds awful. Very weird. Not even 6 o'clock yet. My goodness. No idea why it's doing that. Got that there. Why is it doing that? It's not even live. Strange. There. That's weird. Very strange. Good job I didn't swear. So this is why I don't like Hangouts. No control over it. No control. Anyway, look, guys, you're already here. San Diego Small Gods. Sorry about the lockup. It's not supposed to be live. I didn't click anything. I didn't turn it on, but obviously it doesn't like it when you start Google Hangouts. We're waiting for our guests to arrive who aren't due until 6 p.m. So unfortunately, it's only 5:45 at the moment, which is annoying. I have to. I'm not sure how to do this. It's not very good. I can't even play a video. Play in a video. Camera. Control room. Maybe control room. Where's the control room? I just turned my mic off. That was crazy. Anyway. Oh dear me. I knew it would go like this. I had a funny feeling. Yeah, I suppose I can do a little chat if you want. There's 7 people here. If you want to say who you are, unfortunately. So, hello, Sandy. Hello, Small Gods. Is there anybody else? Hello. And the reason why we got a green screen is because we're using Hangouts, because we have a guest coming in, and we haven't figured out how to do guests on OBS. So obviously there's no green screen tonight, and obviously this is supposed to be talking about the dating service that we're offering, and you can't even read that. I don't know if it's legible or not. Doesn't look like it's very legible. So we are apparently we are live. It's crazy. I don't know why we are live. YouTube says we're live. Broadcast alert, Slate had live chat, public view. See, it's public show. Yeah. Public view. See, that's weird. Yeah. Very strange. I don't know if you can hear me, Yorkie. I'm not sure what's going on because it's supposed to be live. Let me know you can hear me. Just say yeah. Google Hangouts, and it's a pain in the ass because it's gone live. I'm not even sure you can hear me. Yeah, you can hear me, so it has gone prematurely, even though I'm not live, which is weird.
Hi, Andy.
Ah, welcome.
Welcome. Is Jane here yet? Can't see her yet.
Yeah. And the disappointing thing is, Leonard, we're actually live now, so don't say anything that you don't want to say. It's the reason I did that.
Okay.
It's basically very weird. So we just wait for Jane to come, and then we can make us. Actually, people will be coming hopefully at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all gone pear-shaped. Never mind. My bad, Ray.
I'll see if I can find her. I've got my phone here.
Okay. Yeah, no rush. No rush. I've lost my screen now. Where's my screen gone? Okay. Yes, I don't know what we're going to do about the picture quality there, Paul. It is only temporarily, so we'll have to put up with it, I'm afraid. We do have, so at least we've got their guest on tonight. Hopefully some people will come along early. I know we said 6 o'clock, but yeah, it's playing up again. Well, playing up, full stop. I'm going to have to find out how to use OBS on. So how are you? Yeah, I know it's technology, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I'm not the techie one. Jane's much more techie than me. As you can tell, these are my living room curtains behind me.
Yeah.
I'm on the 10th floor of my apartment building, and there's a stupendous view of Bangkok behind. So if we do get any,
They look very nice.
Yeah, you're freezing up. So I get the feeling some of this call has the possibility to get slightly disjointed, and I can see myself talking like a Dalek into these headphones for the next half hour or so. If I do that, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, no problem.
Right up to my mouth.
People in the audience. There's 9 people there so far.
Okay. Well, it's going to be very interesting to see which questions we get asked. The weather in Bangkok tonight isn't very good, and I've heard it's pretty awful in Samui. And Jane is in Samui tonight, Koh Samui. So if she doesn't make it, I'm pretty sure it's because of a problem with the technology. She was very keen to be with us tonight, but sometimes, as you know, you've been in Thailand, the atmospherics are so bad that quality internet connection is very difficult.
It is, that's right. I know I had the problem. Not a problem. Well, we'll play it by ear. You know, my Ben Rai, as they say.
Yeah, my Ben Rai. Yeah, go Yin, no problem.
So we have a few people on who are keen to hear. San Diego, Odds, Yorks, Kev. We've got Paul and Whisperer. So there's 7 or 8 people there.
So what's the format tonight? What do the guys want to know? What do they want to hear? What do they want to understand? I have all the information. It's all there. Question is, what do guys really want to know?
Yes, I think the main for it step by step. So, for example, they're all going to want to know exactly what's involved with what the once they sign up with you. The whole thing will be you can talk them through it, the process of sign up, what's involved in that, expect to happen, and who they're going to meet. Really, to be honest with you, because that's the whole point about this is meeting Thai lady.
Well, hopefully you meet more than one, but you finish up with only one. That's the general idea. Just been talking through the process earlier on again with one of my clients who has just been through 4 months ago to the day he was sitting where some of your audience are right now, and he was talking me through all his hopes and fears. I don't know if we're kicking off too early here, but he was just telling me about how the fact that at the age of 59, having been married to the same woman for 25 years and having been divorced for 3, he didn't feel as though he was capable of falling in love again. And lo and behold, I sat back sagely thinking, where have I heard this story before? But trying to keep my powder dry. And not only did he fall in love, after 4 days, he said to me, I have this amazing problem. I've fallen in love with 2 women. How on earth do I choose? And I said, that's the one thing I can't help you with. I cannot put the benefit of my experience, my 6 years of knowledge of living in central Bangkok and 6 years of dealing with these wonderful women day in, day out. I cannot put that in your brain and look through your eyes. Only you can make that decision. And he has been saying to me virtually all day that the girl he did not choose is going to make someone a fantastic wife. but the one that he is now with is it's even better than when he met the woman he was married to for 25 years, and he's never felt like this before. So it's been a pretty mesmerizing day, because we've been talking about some of the other stories and some of the less sane people that we've had come through our systems over the last 5 or 6 years in Bangkok, and how some guys have crashed and burned, and some of the more obvious mistakes that they've made, all entirely preventable. And I suppose if there's one thing that I do, it's I stop you making the brand new newbie mistakes, and then Jane and her team are the ones that actually find you the right girl. I just stop you marrying the wrong one.
Where were you 3 years ago?
Here.
Yes, I know.
Waiting for someone like you to introduce your clients to us, so that we can make it all happen for Land of Smiles.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's landofsmilesdating.com, which is the website. So people can look at that on the screen. I don't know if it's legible on the screen. It's sort of a blur on my screen. But it's landofsmilesdating.com is where you need to go. I'll tell you more about that later on, guys. But for now, we're going to make a start with this. It's obviously a problem. We've got a three-way call here. So we're on technology. And of course, it didn't start off very good, because it went live before it should have done. So we've had 10 minutes. 9 people were looking at the moment, so that's good. And welcome to everybody. I know you're all
everybody.
Yeah, they're all keen to get going and find out what's going on. And yeah, I apologize for the internet straight away. So bear with us with that, because it is a down. So this is Leonard. Leonard, you want to introduce yourself? And
hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Leonard Stokes. I've been working in the international dating industry in Thailand now for about 6 years as head of country for one of the largest dating companies in the industry. We've been in 14 countries since 1995. However, my particular area of specialty is 100% Thailand. I do not deal with any women that do not live in Thailand. The 3,000 or so women we have on our books, something like 1,800 of them are based in the greater Bangkok area. For those of you that know Bangkok, I live quite close to the Asok interchange, and I would suggest that well over half the women that are our members live within 1 hour of where I'm speaking to you from now. So welcome. I'm here to answer all the questions. I don't know what's going to come up on my screen, but Andy, you're going to moderate for us, I believe.
I am. I'm going to give you the questions as they come out, because I don't think you can see the guys writing the questions on unless you go onto YouTube, and then you can look at the comments there. But I'll read them out as they come.
Sure.
So we're talking about, you've been in this business for a good amount of years, and you've probably seen everything. I mean, you've probably seen every trick in the trade. Done.
I hate to think of them as tricks in the trade. I prefer to concentrate on helping people avoid brand new mistakes. The type of mistake that you make the first time you come to Thailand, you walk into you walk down onto the beach at Pattaya and say, "Oh, I think I'll go jet skiing," and I think we all know what scams are involved there, and they are very well publicised. But unless somebody says, "Don't go to that particular part of the beach because that's where the jet ski scammers are. Go to the other part of the beach where they're much more regulated," then you don't really have anyone to hold your hand. That's more or less what I do. I'm basically everybody's wingman, and I prevent men from making the horrible mistakes that sometimes reach the internet. Sometimes the stories that you see are not very pleasant, and that's simply because there's been nobody there to prevent the guy making, frankly, new boy errors.
So as far as the ladies are concerned, I'm sure that Jane will be able to talk about that if she comes on the stream. But for now, you know, the types of ladies that we sort of find, they haven't, you know, the do they have any sort of vetting do?
Okay, I didn't quite get all of that, but I think you asked me, is there a vetting process?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes, because the vast majority of my clients up until this point in time have been citizens of the United States of America. There is some legislation that's federal law in the United States called the International Marriage Brokers Regulatory Act, IMBRA, if you're familiar with it, or if any of the people that are listening to me now are from the United States, they will probably be aware of it. And IMBRA demands many things, but at the very start of the process, we have to be able to prove two things. Firstly, that the lady is a lady, and I can hear a few guys chuckling around the world at that particular comment. But obviously, you know that surgery is possible here, and some of the lady boys are remarkably attractive, and it takes quite some time until your eye gets tuned into exactly who is and who is not a lady boy. And it took me about 2 years. I've been here 6 now, so guys, you're in safe hands. But firstly, we have to be able to prove that the lady is a lady. And secondly, to be able to join our service, we have to be able to prove that she's over 18. Now, the only way that we can do that is through Thai documentation. I have a whole team of Thai staff that work for me who obviously read and write as well as speak fluent Thai. And part of their job is to attest to the documentation of the lady herself. I'm sure many of your experienced clients, Andy, would know that Thai women have more than one name. They have their real name, and then they have the name that they use, which Farang, such as myself, can understand. For example, Jane's Thai name is virtually unpronounceable, and I've known the lady for quite some time. So in order to be registered with our service, every single woman has to submit proof of who she is. That can take many forms, but at the very least, we retain a copy of her ID card. So every single woman that any of your clients will come to meet, I will be able to tell the male client exactly what her real name is. I have her address, a telephone number, her current email, and I know her official date of birth, and I send a copy of her ID card. That takes a lot of time to build up that level of trust with our women for a very simple reason. Identity fraud is something that a lot of people in Thailand are worried about. If you have a copy of somebody's ID card and you can pretend to be them, obviously I can't, I'm a 6'5" Englishman and I don't speak any Thai, but the Thais are very, very, very careful about who they give out their ID card and information to. That's on a very basic level. The next level, obviously, is we speak to every single Thai woman about what it is that she's really looking for. The youngest woman we have on our database is 18 years old. We have women in their early 50s. Now, clearly, those women just at different age extremes have different expectations, different requirements, different parameters upon which they search for a man. And our searching process, our matching process, our executive matchmaking process is two-way. For example, I'm 56. If I was single, I'm legally single, but if she hears me say that I'm single, I'm probably dead. Well, yeah, absolutely. I've been with the same girl now for about 3 or 4 years, and the matching process that we went through was pure trial and error, and we spoke to each other for quite some time through social media. And when we finally met, there was just that chemistry there that perhaps neither of us expected. Over the course of the last 6 years, I've met well over 6,000 women who wish to become members of my company. This company is not absolutely right for absolutely every Thai woman, because some Thai women have slightly different parameters upon which they search. Some women openly say, I don't want to marry a poor man. And those girls get gently sorted to the back of the queue. We have a constant dialogue between myself and Jane, who is our chief data consultant. We are constantly talking about the men, the way in which they behave, the women, the types of things that they do. And we have got a hardcore, I would say, of about 300 very nice, very eligible, single, and when I say single, I mean single or divorced, so legally eligible to marry women. Yes, we screen the women intensively. And to borrow an American phrase, I don't know how much of our audience tonight is English, Andy, but the Americans have a legal doctrine of 3 strikes and you're out from baseball. You commit 3 felonies, you get life imprisonment. I'm not that generous. I have a never-ending queue of women wanting to join our service. 1 strike, 1 mistake, and we simply stop helping that woman. We don't publicly castigate her. We don't put her on a blacklist. We just stop helping her. And that is a very slow death indeed for a lady who has the aspirations that are not quite congruent with what we're trying to provide for our men. We judge ourselves on the number of marriages that we get, and by introducing a guy to 30 women in his first 5 hours, that's not going to help him get married. That's only going to confuse him. And we go through an extensive matching process with each and every guy who comes on a 1-person trip with us, so that we know exactly what he's looking for before he actually arrives in central Bangkok.
That sounds really good. So do you give obviously the men that are coming over have this expectation that they're going to have a very, very young girl, and they're going to be like in their 60s, and they're dating a 20-year-old girl. Would you make any advice to the men about that age difference?
I never, ever, ever draw a line in the sand and say, yeah, that simply doesn't work. Because my experience tells me that realistically, much more than 20 years is going to be very difficult. Having said that, in 6 years, my 2 probably most standout couples, Bob and Joy, and Fred and Kiki, their age difference is a long way in excess of 20 years. If a guy's in his mid-60s and is trying to tell me that a woman who's 25 is too old for him, then I would probably be counselling that particular gentleman that his aspirations are somewhat unrealistic. A very, very, very good rule of thumb I've always found is, if the girl is a girl whose father is younger than you probably shouldn't be dating her.
So have you ever refused any male clients?
Oh, I've refused many. Yes. Some guys simply don't have realistic expectations. They do not realise, and if I may say so, the American clients I get are particularly guilty of this, because they're used to the consumer economy, as it were. They're used to getting what they want and getting what they want right now. They don't realise it's a 2-way street, and they don't realise that these women have their own aspirations. They are looking for certain character traits in a man. Many of them understand that they cannot immediately find everything that they want from any given man. Sometimes it takes work. Sometimes they have to deal with it. But some men are just so adamant about exactly what it is that they want that they just turn the women off. And therefore, I cannot continue to work with them. And I advise the men accordingly. Typically, that comes about before the men actually arrive here in Bangkok, because I don't take any money from anybody until they're here in Bangkok. It's real.
Good.
They're in a safe environment. Well, yeah, there are so many scam operations out there yeah, I've actually had men say to me, I think I'm a bit suspicious that you don't want any money up front. Are you just trying to get me to Bangkok? What's going to happen to me when I get to Bangkok? Which is why I let the men make all their own hotel reservations. I give them very strong advice, but I give them all the tracks to run on, but I don't get in the engine with them and drive them down the track, because what I cannot do at any point in time with any of these men is to make them make a decision. Every man makes his own decision when it's right. With some guys, it's the third girl they meet, and that's it. I'm done. I'm in love. Thanks, Len. You've been wonderful. Here's an invite to the wedding. Other guys, I've got one guy coming back on his 6th trip. Now, admittedly, he did find someone, and it was only at the end of trip 4 that they realised that whilst they were very good for each other, she couldn't live in America, and he can't retire here yet because he's actually younger than me. He's only 53. He's got another 12 years worth of work. So they agreed to remain friends. But our systems are designed to make it as easy as possible for the men to follow our advice without backing them into a corner. Because a lot of the men we tend to find who want to come and experience this type of process. I was going to use the word adventure, that's the wrong word. But experience this process alone rather than as part of a group tend to be independent individuals. They tend to be the type of guy that will book 10 days in Thailand and will think, well, I'll go to Bangkok for 3 or 4 days, and if I don't find the girl of my dreams, then I'm going to go to Hua Hin or Buriram or Phuket for my 2nd week, with no logic behind that at all, other than, well, I've tried Bangkok, she wasn't here in 4 days, what's going to change in the next 6? I treat every single client that I have as an individual. We don't pre-package anything. We simply work with the guy to find out exactly what it is that he wants, and then try to provide that as closely as we possibly can. And there are many, many, many ways to do that, and technology helps us do that enormously, particularly line software. Again, I don't know how many of your guys here are experienced in Thailand. I know you've been here, Andy, and you will know how valuable the line software actually is as a methodology for communicating, not only with other women, but with other people in Thailand. And whilst we're working away here, guys, my line will flash up there if something important comes up. I'm in contact, I won't say 24/7. Most of my male clients understand that I need some rest, but I have 3 clients here at the moment. One's going home in 2 days. One arrived 2 days ago, and he's out on a 2nd date with a girl tonight he's very interested in. So I'm expecting to hear some feedback on that, but I have asked him kindly not to call me between 12 and 1 because I knew I'd be talking to you guys in the UK.
So, Len, you mentioned people coming back 4 or 5, 6 times, and presuming that is included in the package that you offer. They're not going to have to keep on paying, are they? No, absolutely. We offer a 1-week membership, and we offer a lifetime membership. What a lot of people do is at the end of the 1st week they upgrade to the lifetime membership. The 1-week membership is $997 US.
It's everything in Thailand in dollars, if you're English and listening. So I'm not quite sure what the rate is at the moment. It's probably about 1.3, so something like £600 or £700. And for that, you will get full access to our entire database for a whole week, and you will get 24/7 support. That's basically from me when I'm awake and Jane when I'm asleep. And what a lot of guys do after that is when they find a girl, they upgrade to the lifetime membership, because those of you that have been married to foreign ladies before will understand what a nightmare it is to get a fiance visa back to the UK or a K1 to the USA. And it's an awful lot of support work that needs to go on when you actually find her, to get her back to the UK. And I would suggest that maybe my competitors over here lose 40 to 50% of the couples that they make, just because of the aggravation that is necessarily involved from, let's take the UK as an example, the international, the Immigration Nationality Enquiry Directorate, which used to be based down in Croydon. I've been living here 6 years, so I'm a bit rusty. But yeah, those guys want to make sure that the girl that you found is really going to come to be with you, and it really is a real marriage, and she really is your real wife. Because there's a lot of you see it every day in the UK press. I still read it in the UK press, living in Thailand. Fake marriages, sham marriages, in order to get UK benefits. Well, we're not in that business. We're in the business of making real couples and making families.
That's really good. That's comparable to the price that I paid for an agency, and they gave less service than what you're saying. So I think that even that price that you offered for the package is a reasonable price compared to.
Yeah, I didn't hear all that, Andy. You cut out on me when you said reasonable price. I'm not quite sure what you said after that.
Oh, I was talking about my agency when I had my agency up in the north of the country, and comparing it to the price that I paid.
Yeah.
But I think I got a lot less.
Yeah. How can I put this nicely? Some of my competitors out there are basically one-hit wonder merchants. They get one chance to make some money out of you. They get one chance to sell you a package, and there's no ongoing service. There's absolutely no incentive to them, once they've got your money, to actually deliver on the promises that they make. With us, what we do is so female-centric. It so revolves around our women and keeping our women happy. Because without women coming through into our company, we have no business. We don't make computers. We don't make photocopiers. Our products are imperfect. They're human females, and we all know how imperfect they can be, especially if we're men. And guess what? It works the other way around as well. But at any given point in time, we will probably have 300 highly motivated, very successful, attractive women looking to find foreign husbands. They're not all looking to find 68-year-old pensioners from Paynton in Devon, but some are. They're not all looking to find 35-year-old foreign exchange dealers in the city, but some are. And it's an ongoing matching process. I've been doing this in this particular field for the last 6 years, but my entire career has been based in the matching process. Before I came to Thailand, I was an executive headhunter, so I do know what the matching process is all about. I should do after 37 years, and it really is very, very similar between a man and a woman and a candidate and a job, because the look and the feel has to be right on the way in, and then the experience itself has to be right. And we have to help our clients at all times manage that relationship between them. I was talking earlier on about one of my most successful clients. He's had in 4 months 2 near meltdowns, and it's purely because of the misunderstanding of the tone of the word, of the way he said words. Andy, I know you've been to Thailand before, and you will know that Thai is a very tonal language. But English is not thought of as a tonal language, but we can, just by the tone of our words, completely change the meaning. Now, you imagine doing that to somebody that doesn't genuinely understand. Yeah, for example, where are we going for dinner tonight? Sounds pretty brusque. Well, where are we going for dinner tonight? Is a very similar type inquiry of the lady, but much more of an invitation. Now, we have to understand that we don't speak any Thai. There's a lot of English spoken in Bangkok, and all of your dates will happen in English. You won't have to learn Thai. Yes, it's nice if you do, but if you can count up to 10, say yes and no, and point to a toilet and say those immortal words, check, bin, cap, which for those of you that don't know mean bring me the bill, please. You'll be fine, because we will have full-time translators available for you during office hours, and for outside office hours, they're available relatively cheaply. I'm literally talking something like 600 baht an hour, which current rates is about £15 an hour. And yeah, for that you will get a Thai mouthpiece and a perfect set of Thai ears, so there are no misunderstandings. We pride ourselves on that, and obviously the translators get to know the male clients very well also.
Because I think misunderstanding is the point of a relationship, especially if the Thai lady doesn't really speak very good English. So how do you sort of get over that?
Well, there are a number of ways, but by far the simplest technique is simply to go back to the lady and say it again. For example, if you'd had a row with your lady, Andy, and she was screaming and shouting about something that you'd said or done, you're the last person in the world that should try and deal with that at that particular time, because that Thai lady is angry and you probably don't understand exactly why. Yeah? So normally one of my female Thai staff would say exactly what happened, and 9 times out of 10 is because the lady has misunderstood what you have said to her, or what you have asked her to do, or what you have suggested. It's not because she's stupid. It's not because you didn't say it slowly and clearly enough. She is angry because she doesn't understand. And sometimes there's an element of frustration in that. Me being a gentleman of a certain age and probably old enough to be all these girls' dads, I can often get away with explaining to them in English, for example, Jane, Andy didn't quite mean that. What he was trying to convey was that he likes you very much, yeah, and he would be interested in taking you away somewhere. Yeah. What he wasn't trying to do was say, let's go back to my hotel right now. He's saying, I'd like to invite you to come away somewhere with me when the time is right. Is that something you think that you would like to do? That's a very fundamental difference, but very, very, very easy for a Thai lady to misunderstand as to exactly what an honourable man's intentions are.
A good service, and I'm just thinking that you said earlier that you offer help with things. So if somebody was looking getting married, for example, would you help with that as well?
Yes. Yeah, you've got a better list of who's actually on the call, so I can't tell whether I'm speaking to English or American guys here. So I'll give you both sets of legislation. The reason I know so much about the English side of it is I'm English myself, and the reason I know so much about the American side of it is that for the past 6 years, 90% of my clients have been American. Whether you're English or whether you're American, the first thing to do is to find your girl and to start to build that relationship. The second thing to do is to decide where you're going to live. Now, if you're a 35-year-old Englishman with a job and a budding career in the UK, you're probably thinking, I can't possibly afford to retire to Thailand just yet. I haven't earned enough money yet. Okay, that's fine. But if you're 45, 47, 48, but my average bridegroom in the last 6 years I've been here is 47 years old. Now that's against a company average around the world of 42. Why? Because Thailand is a desirable place for gentlemen of a certain age to retire to, and relatively cheap, especially if you want to live up country or in one of the smaller provincial towns like Chiang Mai, like Hua Hin, even to an extent Pattaya. It really is quite expensive. So yes, we take the English gentleman through everything that needs to be done. Standard advice for both English and American guys is get married in your own country. Get the lady a fiance visa and take her to England if you're English, Australia if you're Australian, the United States if you're American. Why? Because the Thai authorities immediately recognize all documentation that is prepared by the British authorities, by the American authorities, by the Australian authorities. Vice versa is not the case. Yeah? The fact that you have been through a civil ceremony in Thailand, which is what you see all the pictures of, the guys dressed up in gold and a procession coming into town, that's just a ceremony. That's like a church service. Yeah, it means absolutely nothing. For those of you that are listening that are English that have been married before, I don't know if you know, but the moment you actually get married is the second you and her write your name in a book in the little registry office at the back. Everything else is ceremonial. It's exactly the same in Thailand. If Apple and I wanted to get married tomorrow, it's Sunday, but if we wanted to get married on Monday, we could just get up Monday morning, walk down the town hall, take a ticket, very unromantic, sit on a plastic chair for 10 or 15 minutes. A Thai official would call us forward, he'd get us to sign a book, and we're legally married in Thailand. It's very easy. However, that actual process of getting married isn't going to help you get your lady into the UK. In fact, in some cases, it's actually harder, because why get married to a girl that's never lived in England before that you're going to live in England with? The British authorities can be somewhat suspicious of that as a strategy. However, to get a fiancé visa, to say, yes, I intend to marry this girl, I want her to come to England, I want to see what living in England is like, first of all. Remember, 95% of Thai women have never seen snow. They don't know what it is. Yeah? They have no idea of 0-degree temperatures. Yeah? I have seen Thai women walking around Bangkok with coats on in 25-degree heat because they're cold. Yeah? So it's very much the case that our advice is come to Thailand, meet your girl, meet her in her own environment. Talk to her about what your plans are for the future. If you're a 35-year-old guy that's got another 30 years to go until retirement and you're in a public sector job, for example, she's probably going to spend, if she's the woman for you, the next 30 years in the UK with you. Maybe at the end of it, you'll have enough money to retire to Thailand. Yeah? If you're like me, who had a previously successful career, firstly in sport and secondly in headhunting, and I could afford to retire at the age of 50, that's exactly what I did. I came to Thailand. There was a death in the family. It was the final death in the family. I had no siblings. I wanted to come to Thailand. I came here to live 6 years ago, and I got this job here, and I haven't looked back. At least I hope I haven't looked back. But the standard advice was, if I am going to get married to a Thai lady, then I'm going to go back to England to do it, to get it all done properly and legally, so that when I come back to Thailand, I have all the rights of a Thai husband. I don't have Thai citizenship, but I certainly have the rights of a Thai husband.
That is really interesting, Len, because that's probably the complete opposite to what I was advised, and I think your way is better. It sort of makes sense to me.
Well, it's pure logic. There are so many things that that could go wrong. I mean, for example, my American client, who I had lunch with today, he lives in a place called Salt Lake City. Now, for those of you that are ski bums out there that know much about America, the Utah is the Northern Rockies, and it's one of the premier ski centers in the USA. His girl has absolutely no concept of what snow is. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's a very good example. She is going to move from a climate where it's 30 degrees every day to a place where the average temperature is 8 degrees Celsius. The girl's going to have to go out and buy warm clothing for the first time in her life at the age of 36. So culture shocks like that are going to hit the relationship. And you can talk about them and talk about them and talk about them, but till they actually hit you, they're not real.
Yeah,
and so
that is the first thing that my wife had to do, was buy some shoes and a coat.
Yeah, absolutely. But each male client is different. You've said we've got something like 10 or 20 guys listening to us right now, and half of them are thinking, I'm of a certain age. For those of you that didn't hear earlier on, I'm actually 56 and I've lived here for 6 years. So I retired here when I was 50. And that's an ideal time if you're financially self-sufficient. And you know, I won't brag too much, but I came out here with well over 6 figures UK sterling in the bank account, and I've lived very, very, very comfortably on it. Haven't touched it. Just working, doing my job on a salary. My salary's not outrageous. It's about £25,000 a year. But for those of you that know Thailand, you think, well, how do you do a high-paid job like that for £25,000 a year? It doesn't pay a lot more than that, but it's more than ample to live a very comfortable lifestyle in Bangkok.
Yes. I've got a question for you. Somebody's said it's from Tom. With Brexit,
Hi, Tom.
With Brexit coming up, is it going to? What do you reckon? It's going to be more difficult to get a visa for the UK?
No. I was with the British consul a couple of days ago, and his view is that if anything, it's going to be slightly easier because the British authorities now have their own jurisdiction. In the past, it was, if I let this woman into Britain, is she going to disappear into, think of a bad example, the bordellos of Brussels and Amsterdam, and when she becomes a drain on the Dutch national purse, someone looks at me and said, why did I make that decision? No. Now a visa to get into Britain is a visa to get into Britain, not to get anywhere in Europe. Because I don't know, I've actually driven from London to Kiev on my British passport pre-Brexit times. So there are no real boundaries, but there are at places like Calais and all the airports, and obviously at the Channel Tunnel. So when she flies into Heathrow, as the vast majority of flights actually go into, she's got a visa that gets her onto our little island. And that's about the only place that she can go until she goes and gets other authorities. So Brexit isn't really going to change my advice much. No, come here, meet your girl. If you plan to live in England, take her back to England, marry her in England. If you plan to live in Thailand, take her back to England, marry her in England, because you're protecting yourself.
Yes. So, and also if you do that whole business, then they can get for the UK citizenship.
Typically that takes about 2 years. Not every Thai wants it, because Thai girls, as I'm sure you understand, are very proud of their ethnic heritage. They're very proud to be Thai. In the days of King Bhumibol Adulyadej, whose funeral it was the other day, every Thai is very, very, very proud of their king. I haven't had long enough yet to form an opinion as to what Thai people think of the new king. Except to say that I'm sure they all support him, because there's some very strong less majest laws out here, and I don't want to get on the wrong side of the Thai authorities. But he's only really been at the forefront for a couple of days. So far, he's handled himself very, very, very well indeed. But Thai people will not necessarily jump at becoming a British citizen at the first opportunity. They certainly will in the United States. It's slightly different over there. But becoming a British citizen means renouncing your Thai citizenship. And that is a big move for a Thai girl, a very big move indeed.
So they couldn't have dual passports then?
It's difficult, but a indefinite leave to remain visa stamp in your Thai passport is virtually as good as a British passport. It's just, if you speak to the consular officials about it, they will all say there is no difference. If you've got the indefinite leave to remain in the UK, you effectively can come and go on that passport wherever you go in the world just by showing that stamp. But the man in the street doesn't tend to believe that.
Yes. So, because obviously when they come to the UK, they can have, and then they Simon's wife.
I didn't get all that, I'm afraid, Andy. Could you say that again, please?
Yeah, sorry, it's very bad line. It's really quite difficult. But I said once they get to the UK, they can get their national insurance number, and then they can start to actually find that they earn a hell of a lot more money than they would do when they're in Thailand.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about Thai girls coming to the UK and sponging off you. Salaries in the UK are demonstrably, multiply higher than they are in Thailand. To give you some idea, the average salary for one of my staff members in Thailand, even in Bangkok, is something like $450 a month. That's about £300. And you're thinking, how the hell do you get away with paying salaries that low? Those are not low salaries. Those are the standard rates for decent administrators in Bangkok. The average income in Thailand is about 9,000 baht a month. Current exchange rate, very, very, very roughly 45 baht to the pound. So that's about £200. That's the average salary across Thailand. In Bangkok, it's about twice that, because this is where all the international companies are. So by very definition, the average salary in places like Udon Thani, which I know you've got experience of, Andy, places like Buriram, Sri Saket, Surin, anything along the eastern side of the country, especially the Cambodian border, can be as little as £100 a month. But the people that are earning that money live very comfortably on that money. Now, imagine that you're an English guy, and like me, you're making 25 grand a year. And suddenly, you meet an American woman who says, come and live in America. Come and live with me. Yeah, and that'll be great. And you go over to America, and you do exactly the same job. And suddenly they're paying you 5 times your regular salary. They're paying you £125,000 a year for a 25 grand a year job. How on earth does that happen? Well, it's because the cost of living in the UK is an awful lot higher. Yeah? Two can live as cheaply as one. What she wants to do is she wants to come to the UK, get a decent job, earn some decent money, and send good money home to her family so her family can live well. She is not going to impact dramatically upon your salary if you live in the UK.
Yeah, I understand that. I appreciate that, and it's a sort of a thing to think about if you're going to be doing that sort of route with your Thai lady. So do you get what's the sort of between people with jobs and people who you have, like with ladies specifically?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I'm glad you brought it up, Andy. Every single woman that we have on the database, the day she signs up with us, I do a reference check with her employer. I don't ring up her boss and say, does this girl work for you? She's about to join my marriage agency. But I have one of my staff ring her office and ask for her by name, just to make sure she's not lying. Anyone that lies to us, we can deal with anything in Thailand as long as we get the truth. Yeah. So if she's lying to us because she wants us to think we've got a job, when in reality she's available for dating 24/7, and she's desperate to snare her husband because she can't survive, she can't eat, she can't live. If any woman lies to us, we just say, look, don't lie to us. We will find out. If we find out, we stop helping you. And if we stop helping you, you end up single. And what's the point? So 100% of our women have some sort of job with us, job the day they join us. Of course, women go through periods of unemployment, that things change. But we know so many of our women, and we know them really well. Today was an average Saturday in Bangkok, and I spent time today with, I counted them up because I thought you might ask the question. 13 of our members came into personal contact with me today. That is, we had a one-on-one conversation about something to do with my company today. Yeah? Now, admittedly, 4 of those are girls I know who work in the pool industry. For those of you that don't know, I play pool, as in the snooker variety, and there was a big pool tournament on today, and I was part of that. And 4 of the girls work in one of the bigger pool bars, but they are they're seriously looking for a husband. One of them just started a relationship with a local expat man, and so she's asked us to put her situation on hold. So it's never a case of, well, this is the database, pick who you want, because it's always evolving. I could send you now, Andy, pictures of 30 women that match what it is that you're looking for in a wife. If we'd had time to do the preparation before the meeting, before this particular call, rather. But by the time we get around to calling them on Monday, 2 out of 30, their information will be out of date. Typically, our database is only ever 93% accurate because we can't check every woman every day. We've got 6,000 women on the database, 3,000 women whom we've actively audited, 300 very, very, very active women. 300 women call me at least once a month, or call Jane once a month saying, what's happening? Typically, when are the men's coming? When are the men's coming? When can I get to meet my man? And so they're very keen to actually meet the guys when they get here. But not every girl is right for every guy. Probably our keenest girl is 22 years old, and she works for she used to work for a cigarette company. And after 3 or 4 failed dates, she didn't realise that her hair stank of stale cigarettes. And so she changed jobs because she wasn't getting anywhere on her dates, because she's a pretty girl. She's a very nice looking girl, but she just didn't understand that being around cigarettes all day was causing it to smell differently. And now she's getting 2nd and 3rd dates and loving it. So these types of things are always happening, always changing. The girls are always changing jobs. They're always looking to improve their jobs. And Andy, you will know, you've been in Thailand. Thai people will make fairly substantial changes to their life for relatively small amounts of money. I'll just ask the audience that are listening to this to just think for a second. When was the last time you changed your mobile telephone number? Well, I've had the same mobile telephone number since the day I landed in Thailand. Very regularly, at least once a year on average, a Thai will change their telephone number because the 2 principal providers over here, DTAC and AIS, are always competing for market share. And if AIS are winning, DTAC come out with a big offer. It will save a Thai 200-300 baht a month, £5 or £6. To us, it's nothing. But 300 baht a month when your salary is only 9,000 is a lot of money. So people will change their data solely to save 300 baht. I mean, my staff can eat their lunch for a week for 300 baht and do regularly. Just think about that, guys. £1 a day for lunch. Yeah, you'll think I'm crazy.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You couldn't do that.
The Thai girls eat Thai food. I it's a bit spicy for me, but the Thai girls eat Thai food, and they live very frugally and very cheaply. But when they go out, always the men look after them. So yes, they do have jobs. To answer your original question, they're not sitting at home waiting for the phone to ring, hoping that a rich man is going to come to Thailand and whisk them away in the magic silver bird, and they're going to live on and the streets of London are not paved with gold. They all know that. I tell them that every day. And the same is in New York, and the same is in Los Angeles as well. I've been there, and guess what? The streets are not paved with gold there either.
No.
You move to your new country, you pick your husband, you make your life together, and it's a real life. It's a real existence. It's a lot easier to find a younger Thai lady than it is to find a younger girl in our own country. And I know that because I see it all day, every day at work. The average age difference I deal with is 16.5 years between the man and the woman. So my maximum is 20.
That's an interesting number, because yeah, I thought it might have been bigger than that, but that's actually quite interesting.
But it's the average. It's the average. I mean, Chitty, who's a lovely lady, her story's sweet because she came to one of our events with her friend because her friend wanted to try it, and she didn't think of herself as particularly beautiful. Well, if you see her wedding photos, this girl is absolutely amazing. She's a very, very, very beautiful girl. But she, her job was that she was the private secretary to the professor of neurology at the world famous Brummagem Hospital. And she came along to one of our events, and she met her husband there, and they were the same age, and no one ever mentioned age difference. And they were both 33 at the time. Admittedly, she looked 18 and he looked 40, but they were both 33. In fact, I think they're born in the same month. He's a few days older than her rather than anything else. But that's why we have averages. Like I said earlier on, my average age difference is 16.5 years. Yeah. Yes, I deal with 30 and 40-year age differences. It's not easy, but it does happen.
Would you ever perhaps that age difference is not really appropriate?
No, it's got to be down to the individual couple. I will often say to a gentleman, from the benefit of my experience, maybe she might be a little immature for a long-term relationship with you, which is code for she's a bit young, isn't she, mate?
Yeah.
But that's the reality. You know, like when I was a younger man, I liked going out clubbing. I didn't totally lose the urge when I was in my late 40s. I'm now 56. I'm 57 in November. The thought of at 1 a.m. Finishing this conversation with you and our audience, and then putting a shirt and a jacket and tie on and doing the old John Travolta bit from Saturday Night Fever and heading out to a nightclub, which is about 100 meters away, is the last thing in the world on my mind right now. Now, compare and contrast that to a Thai girl who works all week. Sunday is a day off. Saturday night is a big night out, and she has a successful, nice foreign boyfriend, and she wants to go clubbing, and he won't take her. Yeah, because that's what young 25-year-old Thai girls do. They go to the latest sounds. They go to the latest clubs. They want to do the latest things. Yeah, these things are all built about compromise. But if every Saturday night she wants to go clubbing and you want to go home, that's not going to be a marriage made in heaven.
Yeah, sure. So tell everybody that how we're going to go on from here, because we're coming up for an hour,
Sure.
and I'm sure that you're 1 a.m. in the morning at the moment, so you probably want to go to bed or something.
So it's not all something. Trust me, I want to go to bed, Andy.
Yeah.
The answer to your question is
landsmilesdating.com is where you need to go.
Sorry, say it again.
landofsmilesdating.com is where people need to go. They need to go down to the sign up. There will be a to go into your email and click on the link, which will take you back into the page that you need to go and look at. And I would say that, you know, if you're going to do all that, then be serious about it, because there's no point in really on there. There's nothing on there that really that you haven't already said. I think the point is that we want serious people to go on, sign up for it, and on there is Len's. So you can contact him by email, by visiting him, or whatever best you see fit to contact Len, who will then, as far as that's concerned. So if you are seriously looking for a lady, a Thai lady, then Land of Smiles dating.com is the website name. Go on there, sign up for the page. You'll be given the page details. You may need to be aware that it might be in your spam box. So just have a look in your spam box if it doesn't come through. Again, Len will look after you, I'm sure. So if you are that way,
we've been around marriages already.
Yeah. So that is basically what we're talking about tonight, is dating for Thai ladies. You know, if you're in the UK or in America, it doesn't matter, or anywhere in the world, Australia, that's Western world, and you are seriously looking to meet somebody, obviously, if you are the me, oh, I don't need any help with any of that, you know, I don't need any help hand holding, then you don't need to bother. It's all about people that want that little bit of help to find decent lady, and this is why we're here.
Yeah, it's I know I said it right at the start, but it's equally important to avoid the wrong ones as it is to find the right one. If you spend long enough here, you will find the right one, as long as you don't find the wrong one first.
I think that's the key part there, is Len, is finding the right one first, rather than going through all the hassle of mistakes and having to repeat it all again.
Yeah. Any of us that have spent any level of time in Thailand, we know that when we look at each other, somebody does something and you just pass that knowing look between yourself and another local, as if to say, oh my God, he is heading for a fall. Who is going to try and stop him? Why does it always have to be me? It actually always is me when it's to do with dating. Because they all the locals look at me and say, are you going to stop him? Or are we going to tell him to talk to you so that you stop him? Because the guys that go to places like Nana Plaza and Soy Cowboy and meet this absolutely drop dead gorgeous girl and think that she's in love with him and not with his wallet. We can't stop that. You have to go there. You have to experience it. You have to understand it. The nice girls expect you to know where Nana Plaza is, expect you to know where Soy Cowboy is, expect you to have been there, seen it and done it, got it out your system, and then start looking for a nice girl. So we understand totally that we have many red-blooded male clients, and we talk you through that element of it and how that fits into your tour on an individual basis. Some guys say, I don't need to see it, I've heard about it, walk me through there once at 6 o'clock in the evening so I can say I know where it is. That's all I need. Other guys want to go and have a few beers there and experience it. Do that in a sanitized environment. But always, always, always keep in mind, if you come on one of our tours, why you came on the tour. You came on the tour to find the girl you're going to share the rest of your life with. And you're not going to find her in Soy Cowboy. You're not going to find her in Pat Pong Market. You're not going to find her in Queen's Park Plaza. You're not going to find her in Nana Plaza. You're going to find her on our database.
Brilliant. That's well said, I think. Now, do we have any people here who would like to ask any questions? Because we're going to start to wrap it up. If anybody wants to write any questions, then I can ask Len whilst he's here. It's unfortunate Jane didn't make it, but that's not a problem.
Look at my technology. I can tell that there's no communication getting through to Samui tonight. So obviously the atmospherics down there are terrible. For those of you that don't know Thailand, Samui is an island down south. It's the weekend, and Jane is at her weekend retreat.
Yeah, well, we always do that one in the weekdays, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Len, we've got another reminder to what packages you do and how much.
Sure. Okay. Life membership with the company is $1,997. That means we look after you from the first moment you land in Thailand until the day we turn up at your wedding, or you sign yourself off as 100% completely happy with everything that we've done for you. We have a smaller version of that, which is, if you like, a suck it and see, which is a 1 week tour. And on that 1 week, you will meet up to 20 women that have been pre-selected for you. That's done on the basis of the age range you're looking at, the type of woman you're looking at, her geographical location, and 71% of the decision-making process, her photos. What we don't do, if we don't bombard you with very sexy photos of women, we talk through each individual set of circumstances and what it is you're looking for. So, $1,997 or $997 for our full service for a week. That's totally inclusive. The only thing that you pay for when you get here is your food and your accommodation. For those of you that know Bangkok, we use the Ambassador Hotel in Sukhumvit Soi 11, right in the middle of Dating Central. For the Americans, that's going to cost you about $50 a night. For the Brits, about £30 to £35 a night. We do 8-day, 7-day tours. So if you arrive at a Saturday lunchtime, you're going to need a bit of time to get over the jet lag. You're with us until the Sunday lunchtime. And everything is totally included during office hours. And translators are at the relatively inexpensive rate of £15 per hour. Is that £15? $15? £15 per hour outside office hours. So if that's the type of service and the type of backup that you're looking for, and you want immediate access to 3,000 seriously committed and eligible women, of whom 300 are contacting us on a daily, but not every day, but on a daily basis, i.e. during the course of the month, at least 300 women will ring me and say, where are the men's coming? Where are the men's coming? Then we have the database that ready, willing, and able to work with you in Lower Sukhumvit. For those of you that know the area, that's between Soi 1 and Soi 21, which we locals refer to as Dating Central. It's everything you could ever want to do on a date in that 200-meter stretch of Thailand, with the possible exception of a bowling alley, but that's not very far away on the BTS down in Siam Paragon. I like to bowl as well, so I happen to know that one. So restate again, $1,997 for life membership, or $997 for 1 week. And before we ask you to commit to coming on one of the tours, we have an extensive range of clients that have used both methodologies that we can introduce you to and let you talk to one-on-one.
So you would let people use clients that you've helped with, so they can get the perspective of somebody that's been through the process before they sign up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all very well saying I've made over 100 marriages, but yeah, how many clients did that take? Roughly 230. I've had 230 different men come through my company as a male client during the 6 years that I've been here. So my success ratio is pushing up to about 50%. Anybody out there that's claiming that they have an 80% success ratio, they might have got 4 guys married on one tour out of 5, and that's the endless statistic they keep on churning out over and over and over again. I happen to know we have the best ratio of success in Thailand because I constantly check the opposition. I have to, because I don't like making claims I can't substantiate. The chances of you finding your girl on your first week with us, if you're an average guy who behaves normally, and that means not going out till 5 o'clock in the morning every night and missing lunchtime dates because you're hungover from the night before, is about 45%. It gets to well over 80% if you spend the second week with us. But I don't like doing 2-week tours straight up because the first week is so intense. You certainly do need some time to reflect upon what's happened at the end of your first week and to really decide if Thailand is for you, because you come here with a set of preconceptions and sometimes the country itself changes you. You fall in love with the country, or you know what? It's not quite everything you dreamed it was, because yes, the sun shines every day, but yes, it does rain in Thailand. And yes, there are difficulties in Thailand being a foreigner and trying to understand the local culture. You can't get it in a week. And some guys go away at the end of 1 week thinking, you know what? The Tourist Authority of Thailand did a great job to get me to come here, but I don't really think this is the country for me, and I don't really think these are the women for me. And that's great. That's fine. That's absolutely, totally wonderful. That's why we have the 1 week suck it and see package.
And the question is, that was also related to the lifetime thing. They said, what is lifetime membership?
Well, ask my good friend Jerry. Jerry's from Cornwall. We first met when I was working in a slightly different capacity in the Ukraine in 2015. And we were the only 2 Brits on this particular tour, so naturally we bonded. And Jeremy has got unlimited dates with women on our Thai database for life. I very nearly got a good deal because he had a heart attack about four months ago, but he's recovering well. And we constantly joke that I really shouldn't have sold him life membership because life membership wasn't quite right for him because he nearly died. But what it basically means is that Jeremy he's got a membership on hold for the next 6 months because he can't travel. But the doctor's about to give him the all clear. He can travel again and pick up just where he left off. And things have changed. Some of the girls that he was interested in 6 months ago have got married. Some have moved away. New women have come onto the database. At any given point in time, if I know you are coming to Thailand, then about 3 weeks before you get here, we start to prepare. I don't want to drop other companies' names into the conversation, but one of the things I do is I run group tours for another company. Can get 20 or 30 strong. So just for my existing staff, I can handle 20 or 30 men here at exactly the same time. And I can organise parties where hundreds of women turn up to meet 20 or 30 guys. If you know anything about the international dating industry, it won't take long to work out who I'm affiliated to in Thailand. We are the #1 producer of group tours globally. But the one-on-one operation that we do, especially the life membership, means that we work with you until you are happy, until you are successful. Now, for some guys, that means their wedding day. For other guys, that means, you know what, I've decided Thailand isn't for me. I'm going to sign myself off. But in 80% of the occasions that we have, we've worked with people in the past. In fact, an email from one just flashed up as I'm talking to you now. They've got married off, and in 6 years, we've only had 1 marriage fail.
Wow, that's really good. Another question for you, Len, before we finish up.
Yep.
It's about the UK visa. Do you know offhand how much people have to be earning in order to get the visa?
It's not set in stone because when you one of the things that they will look at when giving a visa to a Thai lady is, in the event that the guy behaves poorly, i.e. she gets off the plane and you think, great, I've got a kitchen slave, I've got a party slave, I'm going to be really happy, I'm not going to give her any money. That girl has to be able to support herself in the UK. Yeah, you're sponsoring her visa, you don't own her when you get there. So it's more a case of joint income, and does the lady have the ability to repatriate herself back to Thailand in the event that something goes not quite according to plan as far as she's concerned. What I always advise men to do is, if they're planning to bring their woman to the UK on a fiancé visa, it's a totally false economy to only buy her a one-way ticket, because it makes it so much harder to get the visa. It's not a case of you have to be earning £63,000 a year to be able to afford to support two people in the UK, because we all know, for those, well, we all know, I'm from Victoria in central London, and for those of you that know that area, I'm actually from a place called Pimlico, but most people don't know that, but from Victoria in central London, and that's a very expensive part of the world. Considerably cheaper, I would have thought, than Darlington, for example, which is where one of my good friends comes from. And so the British authorities can't just put down a set rate, because £50,000 a year probably wouldn't support a couple living in central Mayfair, but it's probably a very nice income in Darlington. Shows how long it's I've been there. I'm a bit
nice place, apparently. It's a very nice place. One of my subscribers lives there.
Well, I've never been there, but one of my friends is from there, and he says it's reasonably cheap to live there. But the UK, Thailand is like the UK. Not every piece of Thailand is the same. Costs are different everywhere, and the British authorities cannot just decline a woman's application on the grounds that that the boyfriend only earns £18,000 a year, because £18,000 a year, when you add it to her £30,000 a year, because she's got a job which, if she marries him, they'll transfer her, because that's one other thing to remember about a lot of my women work for multinationals, and they're highly sought after employees. They're bilingual, so the very fact that you work for a petrochemical company in Bangkok means you can probably go and work for a Thai petrochemical company in the UK and get a very, very, very palatable salary for doing so. So our women, because they're bilingual and they speak Thai, are also very much in demand in the UK.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I think it's a real pleasure to have you. I hope that people will see that this is a good service. If you're not interested, guys, there's no problem. It's for people that are looking seriously for a Thai lady. If you're interested, landofsmilesdating.com. Go and sign up. Go and talk to Len, who will help you out. This whole thing has been something that when I first started the journey. So I am just really can help other people.
Absolutely, yeah. It's what I do all day, every day. I help people and stop people making mistakes. And if someone had been here to stop me making the mistakes that I made in my first 2 years, I'd probably be between £30,000 and £60,000 better off. But I made those mistakes because I didn't know any better at the time. And yeah. You live and learn.
Yeah, well, guys, you know what to do. You know what to do. You know where to go. You know what to do. Go and talk to Len. Says, see if it's for you. If it's not for you, don't worry. It's not a problem. So thank you, Len, for coming tonight.
Cheers.
And
have a good night, everybody.
I know
yeah, I'm going to get some now. Yeah. Start at 8 o'clock again tomorrow morning. But that's I'm going to a wedding. One of the perks and chores of the job.
Cheers, Len. You can click your little butt at the top.
Okay. See ya.
See ya. Bye. So there you go, guys. That's Len from Bangkok. Currently, it's about at the moment, and so it's quite late for him to come on there. We were expecting. Am I signing up? I'm already married. No, I think compared to 3 years ago, I mean, I wish I'd known about this guy, because it would have been such a good service. It's really, you know, I don't want to push it, but if you're serious and you don't want to make any of the glaring mistakes, you know, it is the way to go. I can't say any better than that. I think that there's just one thing there that I apologise for the quality of the video. Apologize for the green screen because we're on Google Hangouts, and I just appreciate everybody coming. I appreciate moderating. I know you probably have better things to do in China. Maybe you haven't. Maybe, but there you go. So thank you for doing that, and thank you everybody for coming along tonight. It is, of course, Land of Smiles Dating.com is where you need to go sign up. Don't forget, when you sign up for that, in your spam box, you need to click the link there, and it will take you to the page where you need to go, and it will give you Len's email address and details and all the information about things that he's been talking about tonight. Time, and as I say, if there was a comment earlier about the money, it sounds very, very expensive. If you want a service that's pretty much guaranteed, then why waste money on something that you're going to do? And certainly, if you're going to do it yourself, then a lot harder. You might be one of these guys that are really lucky, and you walk down the street and you meet somebody, but happen not very often. James, a few thousand ladies with about 300 active, really active ladies. So it is quite a lot of ladies, 6,000 ladies, but with 300 or so, which are really active on a monthly basis. So they have a lot of ladies to choose from, and they work with you individually at what you want. So if you're looking for, then they can look at that and try and find them for you. So they are specifically a dating service. Anyway, if there's any we can answer before we go, we are going to say thank you for watching, and now, because it's been quite a long time. So any quick questions? And everything. Any lady boys? No, they don't do lady boys, I'm afraid. That was right at the beginning. Len was saying that they have they do extensive tests and checks on the ladies, so they cannot have lady boys in their lineup, as it were. So nobody asked, but he didn't make a point of mentioning that at the very beginning, because they have legal obligations under the American law. It's basically there are no lady boys involved at all. Thank you for Rank Tales. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody that way, and you need that little bit of help. Is Jane single? You've obviously seen the video on the Thailand desk. Then I take it, yes, she is a bit of a looker. I don't know who checks them. Well, they do. Obviously, they have they do legal checks and things like that. Just like we do in the UK, you can find out stuff about anybody. Yeah. Mark, I didn't really agree with the figure that he was giving there. You will find that there is a minimum amount of money, and there are exceptions to that. For me, because I'm on a certain benefit, my benefit allows me to have a zero income allowance, so I don't have to meet that requirement. However, if you're not so lucky, I say that in polite terms, the visa issue, but you have to bear in mind, Mark, that he was actually talking about a marriage visa, so that would be slightly different to the one that I need. Give me a job for very good, James. I don't think they will, mate. Sorry about that. Very good. Yes, so just the visa issue. I think I see where you're going with it, because they know much about the marriage visa, where you have to come. And don't forget, in America, the marriage visa is slightly different, and he may not be UK visa, because obviously he said earlier with of his clients are from America, and they have this 90-day visa rule where they can take them to America and they have 90 days to get married. You've probably seen the TV program. It's on the TV. TLC, I think it is. I watched that program. It's quite very interesting. As you say, Thunder, if the girl working and she has a bank account and money in the bank and support her, there is not much of a problem trying to get a visa, I don't think. I think the problem is that when they're unemployed and they've got no prospects, and the UK government are only looking out for, are they going to come here, live here illegally, and then become a burden on the NHS system. This is all they want. And even though in my case it hasn't really worked out like that, in actual fact, that's been, as you know, from my stories, the idea of this is the visa was refused on grounds of made up reasons. Then for me, it didn't really work out that way. However, I never had the backup. I haven't got the backup of this. He's willing to support you in the process. I haven't really had that backup. The main difference. And to be fair, the fee that he quoted was about $900, I think it was. You know, 6 or 7. I probably paid that much in total. So it isn't much more than what I paid for my agency, and my agency was rubbish. I found this one sooner. There you go. 3 years sooner. Anyway, so have we got any more quick questions? Because I'm going to wrap it up. Because we're all getting really bored. But I do appreciate your support, guys. Thank you for coming into the watching bar, and normal service will resume next week, or next week, whenever. Maybe a Wednesday, I don't know yet. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed I'm hoping you're enjoying the Thailand, the latest episodes, which some of you have been watching and commenting on. Thank you for that. Yeah, you're right, Rudy. Unfortunately, we're not all that clever, and I certainly didn't do that. I didn't go and look at the visa requirements. I just presumed that my agency would help me, advise and guide me with that, but obviously I was mistaken, and I never got any really advice on that. When the agency guys don't worry about it, you know, you'll be fine, and then it comes back with refusal. What you know, why did that happen? So I think we're talking here is a bit of a higher quality agency, and Len is a lovely chap. I've been speaking to him for quite a long time now, and he's such a lovely chap. You're going to be looked after. So there we go. I'm going to say bye for now, and I'll catch you all again on the next episode. Hopefully back to normal. should be cautious. Rudy, I think I might put that on there. Thank you for that advice. That's a really good piece of advice that I think we need to do. Yeah, I think I'll do that now. So landofsmilesdating.com if you're interested. If you're not, then don't worry about it. Thank you, Paul. I'll catch you all again. Bye for now.